Well, I noticed first of all a bit of stiffness in my left hand. I teach karate, martial arts. I've been doing it since 1968.
Wow.
And I was taking another Dan rank probably about 12 months before. I noticed some stiffness in my left hand.
Oh.
And I noticed my grip wasn't the same. Also, I play guitar and drums.
Oh, wow.
So my timing on my drums was a bit off. I noticed that I couldn't put my hand on the neck of the guitar as well.
Yeah.
The other thing I was doing was walking into walls as I turned a corner.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor. I mean, do you want to hear this?
Sure.
I went to the doctor and I told him that I'm walking into walls, and his answer was, "Oh, I do that too. I'm getting older myself." So he wasn't particularly bothered by it. And then I went back again and said, "No, there's something wrong here." So he sent me to a neurologist, and he tested me, put the electrodes on me and tested. I got 5 out of 5 in everything. It was good. Mm-hmm. He said I had a bit of carpal tunnel syndrome in both wrists, probably from my martial arts over the years. But also he asked me if I'd damaged my elbow, and I'd injured it about 6 months before. So he thought I had a damaged ulnar nerve. Mm. So that's what he was working on or going on that surmise to start with. Then I went back again, and then he tested me, and the other tests that you'd be familiar with, and he confirmed I had Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at that point I was pretty upset, pretty depressed about it, you know. Well, not everybody suffers from a tremor, and my left hand tremors, which is annoying. That's what surprised me, because it was interesting. When I first went up to the pharmacy to get my first supply of levodopa, I said, "Will this stop my hand shaking?" And they went, "Yes." Well, of course it doesn't to everybody, only to not everybody gets the tremor constantly, so I can feel myself tremoring now, but if I grip something, it stops, I've noticed. So the biggest surprise was it's there all the time. Anything to do with coordination helps, using the left and right side of the brain. Yeah. Especially when I play my drums, because I'm using 4 limbs at once.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I've wanted to learn how to play guitar.
Pardon me?
I've wanted to learn how to play guitar for a long time.
Well, I don't so much. I'm not an expert player, but as I say, mainly I'm a drummer since I was about 4 or 5. Yeah. And I don't profess to be any good at guitar. I always wanted to play guitar, and I always had one. There it is. I've had it for about 55 years now over there.
Wow.
I brought that from England, and I always wanted to learn to play one properly. And I should know by being a drummer, you've got to do your exercises.
Yeah.
Right? But I just wanted to play songs.
Yeah.
So when I retired when I was 60, our sons, bought me a beautiful Fender Stratocaster, and then I started to get more serious because I got the time. But by no means am I good, but
it's for fun, right?
I lose myself when I do it. Well, of course I don't do enough of it, but when I do meditate, it helps. But I don't. We should do that every day, but it's just time, you know.
Yeah, time.
You lose yourself in the day, and have to have a regimented day. But I don't want to be too regimented.
Yeah, likewise.
That would help. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I say I teach karate, so that's my sporting group.
Okay.
I have students that I teach. So I teach twice a week, sometimes 3. During COVID, I was teaching 3 Zoom classes a week to my students around the province.
Wow.
But now we're back in the club again. So it's over here in Coquitlam. So that's I also help out at the sporting side of karate. I'm one of the chief officials for refereeing, and I'm just in the middle actually of writing a self-defense manual for the Karate BC group. The governing body for karate is the Karate BC, like you have Wrestling BC, Swim BC, Tennis BC, Karate BC. So I'm technical director of that group, and I've just been writing a self-defense manual for them, working with there's a group of police officers called the Odd Squad, Vancouver PD, VPD, and they're all retired police officers now, so I've been working with them on the practical side of it at the police judo club. So that keeps me very occupied.
That's great.
Yeah. So I find if I'm working at something or concentrating, I forget about Parkinson's.
That's good.
Until I have to use my left hand. And then if I'm on the computer, that's become a little bit harder. But I've noticed with practice, that seems to help. For example, when we used to learn to type, when we were doing teleprinter maintenance, we had to type, now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of the working party, or the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Yeah.
So you're using nearly every letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
So if I practice, it's that helps.
That's great.
And also writing
I should
too.
try that.
Writing. Now my right hand is not affected that much, but my writing, I noticed, started to go a little bit, not as tidy.
Yeah.
I've never been the best writer anyway, but again, practicing that every so often, I practice it over and over and over again, and that helps. Also making my letters bigger. I think it was through the neurologist.
Okay.
Because
That's
they
great.
gave a lot of pamphlets and stuff, and I got in touch with them, and I think they're an amazing group.
Yeah.
It feels comforting to be part of a like-minded group. For example, every Wednesday at the moment, there's a hand drumming class.
Yeah.
Now I can play djembe and bongos and anything I can hit, I can play.
Yeah.
But I don't do it for that. What I'm trying to say is, I don't need that lesson, but to be part of the group is wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. So that's how I found out about that, I think, through a pamphlet. Get involved with the Parkinson Society, because, again, being part of a group that's like-minded or got the same affliction as you, it helps to listen to other people's stories, because there's always somebody worse off than you are, and also it raises your morale.
Yeah.
To know there's a group that's behind you.
Yeah. For me, when I found out I had Parkinson's when I was 37, I was scared to see other people, so I didn't really get connected. So what would you say to someone who's afraid?
Well, I will go back to what my friends who've known me all my life, and when I told them I've got Parkinson's, actually anybody, the first reaction is, "Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Oh dear."
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not a death sentence.
No. And
I think the public are not aware of exactly what Parkinson's is.
Yeah.
So that's frightening. So to be involved with the Parkinson Society as a support group and to be educated will help. The more you know about it, the better you can battle it, because my feeling about this is, I ain't going to let this define me. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight it.
Yeah.
In any way I can. I'm not giving into it. And the Parkinson Society helped me by giving me knowledge, or providing knowledge, or access to knowledge, like books. I've learned all the books I'm reading has come through the society.
Wow.